I don't.
Would you say 40,
I wouldn't have the figures of what we need to do. I need to get into office and put it down and see what is wastage and what is useful. Yeah, that will do. But I am clear in my mind that if you stop theft at the top by the president, the rest will follow.
It's a year to election, Mheshimiwa. I'm trying to get into your tangible movements.
You'll have my manifesto soon, don't worry.
Because this is also a conversation you've had in your political spheres, where there's a conversation that the opposition are all about one term, but no specific agenda.
Hold your horses. I'll be having an election manifesto explaining to the people of Kenya what I'll do for them if I'm president.
When should we expect that manifesto?
Just hold your horses, just wait.
For now, you don't have any general
structure. It's being worked on. There are people working on it. Okay. It's a good document. It needs to be worked on. There are many technical people who are helping us to think through. We are giving our own input. We have input from other Kenyans. We are listening to many people. In the fullness of time, we'll have an election manifesto. You'll be able to ask me questions based on my proposal.
Umezungumzia maswali ya ufisadi kwa kina kabisa. Je, kuna maybe the pillars that top-notch that you would want to maybe share with us in terms of what you envision if at all you are elected to the President of the Republic of Kenya as we wait for your manifesto?
I have said we have to deal with corruption.
Apart from corruption,
yeah.
Any other thing that you see?
We need to restore institutions of governance. We need to restore the independence of Parliament. You know, we need to make sure that there is no interference in the criminal justice system. I have just seen they are harassing Tuju. They have slapped him with a demand of 650 million by KRA. They are using that body. After harassing him, the man is in hospital. That guy had a bad accident. He injured his spine. He was mishandled by police. He is in hospital. He has not killed anybody. He has not done anything that would warrant that kind of violence against him. The man is in ICU. They have now using KRA to intimidate him so that he can shut up. We must stop the use of the criminal justice system to manage politics. We must stop using police to deal with the business people. I said the other week, there is a tender, there is a work to be done at the Nairobi Railway City that is funded by the British. And there was a tender, and one company quoted 22 billion shillings. The one that the president prefers, called CRBC, who are doing everything. They are doing the Talanta Stadium, they are doing SGR, they are doing Bombers of Kenya, they are doing JKIA, they are doing everything in this country. They quoted 29 billion, a difference of 7 billion. Then the ones who quoted 22 billion, who are the people who had been recommended to do that tender, they went to the appeals tribunal for procurement to intimidate them and to stop them from complaining. They were rounded up from Usenge, where they are doing a road, and put in a plane and deported to China. Yeah. Those are things we must stop.
Okay.
The use of the criminal justice system to do politics and also to intimidate business people to the advantage of the powers that be.
All right.
These are the things that we must work on.
There's a question here from Steve Ogola. He says, please ask Honorable Rigathi Gachagua this question. Going by his logic of negotiated political settlements, what does DCP or his political faction offer the Luo nation as the alternative to be able to work with him in the lead up to 2027 election?
Well, we don't just offer the Luo nation, we offer the people of Kenya good governance. We want good governance. Our slogan is listen to the people, listen to Kenyans. You must govern the people of Kenya the way they want to be governed, because they are our employers. They are the ones who give you power, and that power must be exercised in accordance with their wishes. I'm not just offering the Luo nation a good government. I'm just offering the people of Kenya good governance where their voice matters. When the people of Kenya say they don't want housing, I told William Ruto, there is a lot of complaint. People feel that the responsibility of government is to provide services, roads, water, electricity, sewage, drainage, security. They want houses to be left to the private sector. He told me, you don't have to do what is popular, you do what is right. And I told him, I agree with you. You don't do what is popular, you do what is right. But if the majority of the people who have given you the job decide what you are doing is not right, you cannot argue with them. So I am saying what I'm offering to the people of Kenya, the Luo nation is part of the Kenyan nation. It's good governance, it's transparency, it's accountability, it's checks and balances, is the supremacy of institutions of governance, where we allow institutions to play their rightful role. That's what Mwai Kibaki did, and he was a very successful president. He allowed institutions to work, and he let everybody work. He did not micromanage the country. He didn't try to do everything by himself. You never saw Mwai Kibaki on top of a vehicle. You know, we have a president who was elected. When you are looking for leadership, there is nothing wrong with you being on top of a vehicle. But once you are elected, you settle down in Harambee House, you settle down in State House and work. You know, you can't be on. I saw him in the Luo Nation 5 days. He was on top of the vehicle abusing us. You must sit in an office and put in hard work. Sit on a desk, get briefs, digest them, and give guidance and give direction as to what will happen. We want to restore the dignity of the presidency. We want to get the Kenyan president to get back to office and work for the people of Kenya. From Harambee House, from State House. I am not going to be a president. If I am elected president of the Republic of Kenya, you will never see me on top of the vehicle. I'll either be in office or I'll be in State House working.
All right. We're about to give you a chance to give closing remarks because we're running out of time here. But there's a question here from one Eriko Kach from Kisumu. This says, the families say it's a rather insensitive question, but we'll just ask it because the people have asked. Can you respond to Ruto about the murder of girls after impregnating them? Eriko Kach from Kisumu.
I cannot respond to nonsense, pettiness, and gossip. President has sunk too low. He has become a gossiper. Instead of addressing real issues affecting this country has a debt of 14 trillion. He is not bothered. We are facing a crisis on fuel shortage. He is not addressing it. He is on top of a vehicle saying that somebody's cow has died because of a tick. What kind of pettiness is that? Hata ng'ombe ya mtu ikikufa na wewe ni president, unaongea hiyo ni maneno ya ujinga na fitina ambayo haina haja.
He's dedicating 1% of his time to respond to you. No. You're the one who started this conversation.
But the kind of things he's talking do not warrant my response. They are too petty and too childish. Let me talk about one thing that you never allowed me. There is a project called Koru Soin Dam.
Yes.
Uhuru Kenyatta allocated 20 billion. That was a dam that would serve the people of Kericho and the people of Kisumu. It would address the floods in Nyando so that when it rains, the water can go to that dam. That dam would have produced electricity for the Luo Nation. It would have given water for domestic and for irrigation. William Ruto removed that 20 billion. When he comes to Nyanza, the people of Nyanza must ask him, why did you remove the 20 billion from this project that Uhuru Kenyatta had given the people of Luo Nyanza?
Aren't you aware that there's an appeals by the two contractors contesting the award of the tender for that particular project?
Kabonyo Fisheries Training School, 3 billion shillings through the Hungary nation, allocated by Uhuru Kenyatta. It was going on, it has stalled. The people should have asked him, instead of abusing Rigathi Gachagua, tell us about these projects. When you look at the sugar factories, Miwani, Soni, Muhoroni, Chemilil, they have all been sold to people. 10.2 billion shillings owed to employees of that region. People are committing suicide. Their properties are being auctioned. I did not hear a single...
How many people have committed suicide so far with regards to this?
Quite a number. Sikusikia kiongozi hata moja, Oburu, Nani, Suluhu, hakuna mtu aliuliza Ruto, hii 10.2 billion, mutalipa hii wafanyikazi lini? Mambo ya wakulima, they are owed almost 500 million for these sugar factories that were sold without public participation. Those are the things I wanted us to discuss. What did
you do during your tenure as the deputy president to address the issues of the sugar subsector in the region and the economy and aquaculture?
The horses have left the stable. William Ruto has sold those factories to Asians and other people.
I'm asking when, during your tenure?
These factories, the people of Nyanza should have been given an opportunity to buy shares. They would have owned them and they would take care of them. But they were sold to Ruto's friends. We are now there in Nyatike. There is gold. Chinese have been given the rights to come and prospect and also to do the processing. Why can't people from Nyanza be given an opportunity to participate in the prospecting of gold and processing of gold?
All right.
Those are the issues I had wanted us to discuss.
We're giving you...
The issue of fish, let me tell you, my brother, instead of William Ruto coming to the Luo Nation to abuse Rigathi Gachagua the way he was abusing Raila Odinga, what you need to do for the Luo Nation, and that is what I will do when I'm president, we must discuss the resource given by God, fish, in the Lake Victoria. If you really want to empower the Luo Nation, forget about all these other things. is to come up with processing plants, is to come up with empowerment for people to be given fishing nets, to be given boats to go and
Fair
get
enough.
fish,
Fair
because
enough.
this fish is very expensive,
That
it's unfortunate that people are wallowing in poverty. When they have a resource next to them, they are in the lake.
Are you admitting that during your tenure as the deputy president, you couldn't push for the Luo agenda in terms of
There's
Luo
nothing I
economy
could push for.
as
The
a
government that I
base?
was deputy president is a one-man show. William Ruto micromanages everything. He even advises his own advisors on how to advise him. He decides everything. We were just there, you know, just struggling, trying to make ends meet, and he says you there, he says you there and there, but he does everything, and that is what we want to change. We want to have a government that has institutions that are working. People who have been appointed, they can go and work.
All right.
And let me also tell...
I'd like to give you a chance for closing remarks because we've run out of time here. But I was looking at the Kurusoin dam that you talked about. There was no 20 billion that was allocated. In fact, it was 2 billion. It was allocated but removed in 2020 because it was too little for the project, which was 19 billion. That you can't put that 20 billion could not be allocated in that financial year. But even then,
have you been told what happened?
Let's have your final comments because we've run out of time here. Just a minute.
Well, Trevor, you have been very biased in this show, which is very unprofessional, because, anyway, let me not go into that. Let me say my closing remarks. I've heard these people talk about broad-based. The Luo Nyanza is in government because of 2 ministers. The Luo Nyanza had a vice president called Jaramogi, but they still agitated for justice and rights. They never became complacent because they had a vice president. The Luo nation has had a prime minister. Raila and the Luo people still stood for what is right and justice. The people of Nyanza cannot be bought by positions. During Moi's time, out of 18 MPs, 17 were ministers and assistant ministers. But the Luo nation still stood for what is true and right. I want to tell the Luo nation, you have 2 cabinet positions. Wadai is there for energy. More than 70% of the Luo nation has no electricity. It doesn't meet because Wadai is eating, the Luo nations are eating. We, the mountain, have 8 ministers, but we are opposed to William Ruto because he is doing the wrong things. And those 8 positions are for individual ministers and their families. So these 2 positions the Luo nation have are for those 2 families. It cannot be that the community now can become complacent. They cannot question what is wrong. They cannot question what is not going on well in the country. They cannot demand what is rightfully theirs and they pay taxes because they have 2 cabinet positions. The Luo nation has always had very senior positions, but it's a dignified community that has always stood for what is true and what is right. I'm asking the Luo nation, much as you have 2 cabinet positions, fight for your right, fight for what is just, and make sure that you position yourselves properly so that the interests of your community can be taken care of in the future.
Will you be visiting the Luo nation soon?
Yes, I will.
When is it? When?
Well, soon. I'm just working my things around. I hope Raymond Omolo will not sponsor violence against me the way he has been doing in Nairobi. He's been mobilizing people in Nairobi to attack churches.
Allegations that
no, it's true.
He
can take me to court. He organized violence in Kariobangi Church.
You have evidence for this, so you can take this to court.
Even this attack on Orengo is Omolo.
So you can take this to court?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
He is the one who has been organizing violence in Nyanza. And I want to ask Raymond Omolo, stop violence.
So when are you coming to Nyanza?
I should be coming soon.
Okay.
Let me organize myself.
Will you be fielding candidates in DCP?
Well, I'll come.
Will DCP be fielding candidates in that area?
I want to tell the Luo nation that if ODM joins UDA, those who are independent people and minded, who are not psychophants, if you don't come to DCP, you are goose is cooked. You will never get a certificate. DCP is available to the Luo nation. All those leaders who are courageous, who are brave, who believe in the people, who want to go to parliament to fight for the Luo nation, DCP is your party. Even here in Nairobi, I have very many aspirants who have come to DCP. And I have told the Luo nation here in Nairobi to be careful because previously the ODM has had 9 MPs in the city, courtesy of Wiper, courtesy of the Malembe nation, courtesy of the Kisii nation. Those nations are not with Ruto. Ruto has no votes in Nairobi. So if you go and make a partnership with Ruto, where will you get votes? You people must align yourself with the realities of Nairobi politics. The Nairobi politics, as we speak today, is in the opposition. So if they decide to join Ruto, they will not get a single position here in Nairobi. And I'm saying, like Ruaraka, if I get a good candidate from the Luo nation who wants to run at the DCP, hey, wala.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, His Excellency. His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the DCP leader and also former deputy president. Mane kama we chenro marwa mar buch jopiny kawuono nwarie ema ochwalore matin kwa chako gi wach marangi chwelo mochoko chopo nyaka imore kata buch jopiny bende wago mana kae ndigi ogaye mar DCP gi jalup jatend piny Kenya machon Honorable Rigathi Gachagua duoko nero kamana nyako moroko dala ne kae ndi makaren ko bira chiel ka chiel twak makende nwantiere ka gi VOJ Victor Tieno Juma twak nodhi
twak odhi jopiny giwegi biro ng'ado ni to oyiengore kon mane erokamano ahinya ne Rigathi Gachagua kuom miwa thuolo kendo jopiny bende mar go kodwa mbaka en ema oluongowa ka nyakwar Mgajwang' kaka ne wachake ni to nodwaro ang'o hie momiyo oluongowa ka tiwinjo mana kod iti kaka oduoko penjo mane kaka en ka ok kamano Trevor en kinde mar goriti nikech gimoro amora nigi sane tantie kod gen ni nitie gik manyien ma jopiny bende opuonjore e twak mane wan go odiochieng' ma kawuono
sa koro chopo wanodwoko nwero kamano kweti Ramogi TV kan kaka pile nyinga Trevor Ombija janding opanga jonyakach dendo nombija taya nyakwar guok ocha pesa George Bati Daddy Cool bro biro mondo nyis weche mosebedo katimore pacho ka duoko nwero kamano ahinya kuom keti Ramogi TV ka